empirical formula and molecular formula. In this module, we will study about percentage composition, empirical formula, determination of empirical formula, molecular formula, determination of molecular formula, and chemical equations. An introduction.
Hooray! I scored 410 marks out of 500.
Percentage composition. A percentage composition of a compound is the percentage by weight of each element present in it. The steps to calculate the percentage composition of an element in a compound are: identify the elements present in the compound, add all the mass contributions. The steps to calculate the percentage composition of an element in a compound are: identify the elements present in the compound, add all the mass contributions calculated in step 3 to find the molecular mass of the compound. Thus, the expression for the percentage composition for an element is total mass of the element in one molecule upon gram molecular mass of the compound in 200. Let us try one question. Calculate the percentage composition of carbon in glucose. The question can be solved by following the given series of steps. Step 1. Identify the elements present in. Step 3. Calculate the mass contribution of each element present in glucose. The total mass of carbon is equal to the product of the number of carbon atoms. The total mass of oxygen is equal to the product of number of oxygen atoms and the atomic mass of oxygen, which is equal to 96. Step 4. Find the molecular mass of compound. Step 5. Expressing the molecular mass in terms of gram molecular mass. Thus, the gram molecular mass is equal to 1. Step 6. Find the percentage composition of carbon in glucose. Let us solve a numerical. Calculate the percentage composition of ammonium hydroxide. We will first calculate the molecular mass of ammonium hydroxide, which is as follows. The percentage composition of nitrogen on calculating the percentage composition of hydrogen Empirical formula.
The empirical formula of a compound is the simplest formula, which gives the simplest ratio in the whole numbers of atoms of different elements present in one molecule of the compound.
For example, the molecular formula of hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. Let us consider another example. The molecular formula of glucose is
Empirical formula mass is the sum of the atomic masses of all the elements present in the empirical formula.
Determination of empirical formula.
Steps to determine the empirical formula are as follows. Step 1. Add the percentages of all the elements and subtract them from 100. The result will be the percentage of oxygen present in the compound. Step 3. If the molecule contains water of crystallization, then its percentage weight is divided by the molecular mass of water, that is 18. In case the result of step 4 is too far to be rounded off, then multiply each number obtained in step 4 by the same factor to get the lowest whole number multiple. Step 5. Empirical formula is now derived by writing the symbols of various elements side by side with the number of atoms of each one as the subscript to the lower right of its symbol.
Let us solve a numerical. An organic compound, after analysis, was found to have the following percentage composition. Hydrogen equal to 6.7%. The numerical can be solved by following the given series of steps. To calculate the empirical formula, let us make the given table. Let us write the given information about carbon in the table. Now write the information about hydrogen. Let us write the given information of oxygen. Let us calculate the number of atoms of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen by dividing the percentage mass by atomic mass. Hence, the empirical formula of the organic compound is CH2O. Let us solve another numerical. Find the empirical formula of the compound with the following percentage compositions. Carbon 82.7% and hydrogen 17.3%. The given numerical can be solved by following the given set of steps. The total percentage of the compound is. Now, to get the empirical formula, write the symbol of the elements present followed by the numbers obtained as the simplest ratio on the right-hand side as subscripts. Molecular formula.
The molecular formula of a compound denotes the actual number of atoms of different elements present in one molecule of the compound.
Consider the following example. The molecular formula of calcium carbonate is CaCO3. Consider another example. The molecular formula of blue vitriol is CuSO4. Determination of molecular formula. Steps to find the molecular formula of a compound are: Step 1. Calculate the empirical mass of the compound from its empirical formula. Thus, the molecular formula is equal to N into empirical formula, where N is equal to the molecular mass by the empirical formula mass. Let us consider an example. The empirical formula of hydrogen peroxide is HO and its empirical formula mass is 17. However, its molecular mass is. Let us solve a numerical. The molecular formula of a compound is C8H6O4 and its empirical formula mass is 83. We need to calculate, given the molecular formula of a compound is C8H6O4. We know that N is equal to the molecular mass by empirical formula mass. Thus, the empirical formula is calculated with the help of the given expression. Chemical equations.
A chemical equation is a balanced account of a chemical transaction. A balanced chemical equation has an equal number of atoms of different elements in the reactants and products.
Consider the following reaction. We will now write the number of all the atoms present in the reactants as well as products and compare. Let us learn the steps for balancing a chemical equation. Consider the following example of unbalanced chemical equation. We will now write the number of all the atoms present in reactants as well as products and compare. Multiply the number of hydrogen atoms by 2 in the above equation to balance the number of hydrogen atoms. Steps for solving such problems are: Step 1. Write a balanced chemical equation for the reaction. Step 3. Write down the product of 22.4 liters and the number of molecules below each gaseous substance. Let us have a quick recap. The empirical formula of a compound is the simplest formula which gives the simplest ratio in the whole numbers of atoms of different elements present in one